Hi, my name is Dr. Cindy Bishop, and I am either your child's AP World History teacher or Honors World History teacher at Marietta High School. I'd like to share some contact information with you, and you can see that at the bottom of the screen. My email address, the best email to send questions, concerns, issues, or comments about our courses, and my personal cell phone number. I'm happy for you to add that to your contact list and contact me either via phone call or through a text message or an email whenever you might have an issue or a question related to what's going on in our class. I do like to talk with parents prior to about 6:30 at night because we all do need a little downtime in our day. But if you text me or leave me a message after that time, I will get back with you the next work day. So our work week this year is Monday through Friday for teachers, Monday through Thursday for kids. Students are supposed to be working on their independent practice on Friday. Teachers are available to support in that time period. Here's what we're actually doing in our classes. I have a mixture of AP and World History kids, and we do meet Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So your child will have me twice during the course of one school week for a total of 100 minutes, which is not a whole lot of contact time. Then what we do during that 50-minute class period is we debrief work, we preview work, we talk about our agenda and things that are coming up, we prepare for tests, we go over major concepts. But honestly, 50 minutes a day, once you take attendance and do other issues, take care of other issues, that's really not a whole lot of contact time. So sadly, this year, a lot of the responsibility for work time falls on the student outside of school. And maybe your student as a ninth grader was not very excited about homework, and that was their least favorite thing. Suddenly, all they have, right, is homework and home practice. And I apologize for the mode under which we find ourselves going to school right now. Hopefully that will resolve soon and we can get back face-to-face so that some of those activities can move back into the classroom. But right now in my classes, your child will have about 3 pieces of home practice to do every week. They're assigned throughout the week, usually say on a Monday or a Wednesday, depending on when they meet with me. And then another piece to complete at large, just at their leisure, at their time. So those early week activities really anchor our Google discussions and our Zoom discussions when we meet face-to-face. It would be really great if the student could follow the due dates calendar and get that early work done early in the week so that they will have a better idea and grasp of what we're talking about on our Zoom calls. Then there's another thing usually that students can add to whatever open spots they have for work throughout their week. And after our first week of school, I had not done this prior to that. I had everything due on Thursday. The students were like, oh, I can't get all this done. So what I've done now is I've extended my acceptance of work all the way through Sunday night at midnight before anything becomes late or loses points because of a late value. So your student can explain that to you, but they should not be waiting until Sunday to do everything that they need to do for AP World History or Honors World History. There are assignments that are on purpose spotted throughout the week so that we can spread that workload out just a little bit. So please do encourage your child to be working early in the week on one assignment, about midweek on a second assignment, and then if they need to, on the weekend to complete that third assignment. So I also support and provide students time to get with me for virtual office hours. And that hour from 7:30 to 8:30 that you see on the calendar is not a very popular time for students. They don't tend to want to get up that early and ask an academic work-related question. Right now I have no students that are coming, but I am available from 7:30 to 8:30 in the morning, each morning, Monday through Thursday, to meet with your child and to help them if they're running into difficulties. Also, every teacher at Marietta High School has that schedule, and we also have dedicated time after school where we can sit and we can assist students. And we are available. Very few students are taking benefits of that availability, and so it would be nice if they could drop in sometime and ask that question they've had. What kids are typically doing is they get out of school at 2, then they're doing whatever for say 2 or 3 or 4 hours, having dinner, and then about 8 or 9 or 10 or 11 or 12 or 1 or 2 a.m., they're finally getting around to their homework. That does not really mesh very well with a teacher's schedule. And so our availability to support is usually in the afternoon from 2 to 4:30. And I'm trying to help students understand that when that time is provided on the calendar, it's really a good idea to take advantage of that time rather than, run into issues all night and be unable to get any sort of help. So that is the calendar we're following. One thing that is not on here is that we also have Friday support time from 8 until 12 on Friday mornings. And again, many students are sleeping the morning away. They're not really taking advantage and benefit of those offerings, but you just need to know that those supports are in place, especially if your child is experiencing difficulty in their history class. So we're communicating and making materials available using the platform called Schoology this year, just like every other course at Marietta City. Your student's homepage looks this way if they take AP World History, and honestly, the homepage for Honors World History looks almost identical. The only difference is a picture, and the picture is for me so that I know which course that I'm in, not for the students. They have no idea that the pictures are different. So if your student is, where's my Zoom link? I can't get online. I can't figure out what's going on. Every teacher at Marietta High School should have our Zoom link posted at the top of our Schoology homepage. And you can see that mine is right there, followed by a due dates calendar. And if it were me, I would ask my student, and I would also do this perhaps on my home computer. I would go ahead and I would bookmark the due dates calendar so that when your child says, can't do this, I've got this due, I've got this due, you can see exactly when it was due and kind of maybe counsel your child about the importance of getting ahead on work instead of always flying behind. This year, if you will read our syllabus for both courses, there is a penalty for work not coming in on time. And that is a huge adjustment for students considering the way that we finished the school year last year. Our school year last year, once you finished, we exited for our COVID break, right, in March. Students were told that no zero counted against their grade, right? Their grade could only rise. There were no late penalties. And if your grade was something you were satisfied with, basically you didn't have to complete any more work. That was the way the students took all of those announcements. So many students really have not done any work up until the last 4 weeks since March of last year because they had A's. And so they just kind of like shut down in March. Now suddenly we're asking them to engage again to a high standard and to understand that work can be late. And when work is late in just about every academic class at Marietta High School, that's a 10-point per day grade penalty when the work is not submitted on time. So the day it's due is worth 100 potential points. And then every day after that, it drops by 10 so that it goes 90, 80, 70, 60, until after 10 days, the work has no value and it expires. And students are having a hard time making that adjustment when the adjustment from last year was nothing's ever late and nothing's ever a zero. So when we kind of look at that shift that we're asking students to make, please encourage them to understand that that shift does exist and that they need to make a little adjustment so that they understand what is expected of them as a sophomore. Completely different and a lot more rigorous than what they were doing as freshmen. So the home pages for both courses, AP World and Honors World, look very similar to this. At the bottom of the page, you can see 2 folders. And right now that red folder says, here's the stuff. But pretty soon it's going to say Unit 1. And sitting right underneath the Unit 1 folder will be a Unit 2 folder. And then when we move through the course, we will add additional units. So by the end of the year, there may be as many as 10 unit folders that all contain the work that we've done for the entire year. That information is archived in that way so that students can go back, look at things, right, get a handle on what they did during the course of the year, and the entire course is right there for review both by them and by you. So please do bookmark the due dates calendar and get familiar with the way that the Schoology pages are laid out. So this is the home page for AP World History, has the cute little Easter Island guys on it, right? And this is the home page for my Honors World class. Right now, the content of those 2 courses is 100% identical. The reason for that is even though we're taking an AP course, we do have in AP World History the expectation that we also have to learn the Georgia Standards of Excellence in addition to everything that we have to do for the College Board. So where those 2 courses diverge will be in October. Up until October, AP World History and Honors World History are in essence the same class. And we are doing everything together up until about the middle or so of October. All of those activities are already plotted on our due dates calendar, and you can look ahead to see what your child is going to be doing and to kind of maybe assist them, help them, guide them, and support them through those activities. When we get to October, our AP World History class is going to diverge, not in content because history doesn't change, Where it's going to diverge is in the way that we approach the content. It's going to become a much more intensive writing course, and the writing has to be done to a specific standard using specific rubrics that are provided by the College Board. Who are the College Board people? These are the people that write the SAT, and they write all of the AP exams for every course in the United States and abroad. So they have a lot of power when it comes to course content and standards and things along that line, and college admissions, because pretty soon your child is going to be occupied with this mindset of, okay, I've got to take the SAT. That's the College Board too. So we have some things that we have to do for them, and my plan is to do this, to challenge the AP students at the level of rigor that they signed on to take when they signed up for an AP course, which is in essence a college course. And I'm also going to take the same approach with the world kids who are taking the honors class. And the reason for that is just because you're taking a slightly less rigorous class, you still need some basic skills when it comes to writing, self-evaluation, presentations, group work. Those expectations are not going to change. Honor students are college bound, and in a lot of cases, they are also move on when ready, or dual enrollment. That's really the term I was looking for. Dual enrollment ready for 11th grade, or they're looking to take IB History of the Americas Year 1, which is an IB course that we offer to juniors. That is where they're going from here, and there is no way or no reason that those kids don't also need to have the same level of rigor applied to their day. What we kind of need in order to get there is maybe a little bit more support and a little bit more scaffolding, is the educational term, to help them get up the ladder. And so that's, in my opinion, the purpose of an honors course, is to take those really bright kids who, for whatever reason, may be a little bit less advanced when it comes to writing and self-confidence. Their presentation skills may not be strong. They need that encouragement and they need that support. And luckily, this year, my honors courses are a little bit smaller than my AP courses. So there's a little bit more personal touch available, especially when we get in a face-to-face mode for the class. There will be a lot more one-to-one between me and the child, and we will be able to make a lot more growth in that way. And so fingers crossed, we will be back together soon, and we can forge those relationships and build that sort of honors course that we need to provide kids the confidence and the self-actualization that they're going to need to go forward. Because in a couple of years, they're going to be in college, right? And they're going to need those skills just as much as any other student. So their homepage looks very similar to my AP World homepage. And you can see the Zoom link there and the due dates calendar, and that's how you get into the information for our class. And again, just like the AP World course page, the course structure at the bottom contains all the information for the units that we're studying together, and all of the information for every unit that we follow will be in a folder on the bottom of the Schoology page as we move forward throughout the year. Students don't have to dig and wonder what we're doing. It's provided right there for them and for you, so that you can track and kind of keep up with where your child is. So once you click into those unit folders, here's what you get. You get just about everything that we're doing in the class. Every day that we meet together face-to-face on Zoom, I have a PowerPoint of slideshows, right, of information that helps us get through the lesson and helps us understand what's going on with the content. I capture those and I archive those in the folder that you see right here on the side that says virtual class PowerPoints. They're in there and they're archived by date. So if your child, for example, missed August the 15th, they could go back and they could see what was discussed in class on August the 15th. We are recording our Zoom sessions. So let's say your child was out on August the 15th and they go, oh, I missed something important. If they contact their teachers at Marietta, we can pull from the archive the video and audio recording for that day and make it available to your child so that they can attend school virtually. It is kind of a pain. It would be nice not to have to do that 100% of the time for every time that we have class. So we do encourage students to be present physically in the 2 sessions that we have every week, and attendance is being taken for those courses, for those class sessions. But if there's an emergency, something arises and a student needs an audio video recording, then we all have the ability to pull that from our archive and to provide that to your student. In addition to the PowerPoints and the ability to pull a Zoom archive, we also have these folders that contain everything that we have done on a particular day. So for our first unit of study, I put everything up as modules of learning. And I divided everything into 2 modules to kind of help the kids get moving, right? So the modules, if you click on those links, you get a list of everything we did for like 2 weeks or so at a time. And then after we had 2 modules, we had a unit test. And that unit test measured everything that we did on module 1 and 2, which comprised unit 1. And we're going to follow that structure for AP and Honors World for just a little while. This idea of modular learning and unit tests that come behind that. And then my Honors World kids will continue to do that all year. And my AP kids will do that with a few variations because we do have some additional things that we have to do to satisfy the requirements of the College Board. Here's our AP World History information. There's a lot more than just this. You need to know that what we do is we follow the ideas and the themes of the College Board related to what they think is important for a first-year college freshman. The reason your child is in an AP World History course rather than an Honors World History course, the recommendation was made to place them there based on their reading level. So a reading level of 1200 or higher is the equivalent of being able to read on a college level. And that was the cut score that we used when we applied kids into AP World History. And then less than 1200, but above another cut score below that, students were placed in the honors stripe instead of the AP World stripe based on perhaps that maybe they were struggling a little bit more with reading and comprehension. Doesn't mean we can't catch up, just means we need some support in order to do so. So the syllabus highlights for the AP World History course, we follow 6 themes, and those 6 themes are set by the College Board. We're supposed to look at history from a political standpoint, an environmental standpoint. Let's look at the innovations in technology that people came up with in ancient times. Let's look at the culture. Let's look at how they interacted, I think I said economics, with the environment, or economics is the other E. And then the last one is social structure. So looking at structures of society through time, who ended up with the wealth and affluence, who ended up as the worker class in almost every society throughout time. Those are overarching themes that we are supposed to cover and will cover in our course. On the right-hand side of the screen, you can see the breakdown for grading in AP World History. And that's going to give the students 65% based on what we would call test grades. And then the other part is home practice or individual practice at 35%. The 65% test grades are not all test grades. We will have unit tests, multiple choice tests, because that is part of the culminating test that we will have at the end of the year, the AP World History exam. Perhaps you've had other students in your household that have taken that exam over time. It does have quite a large number of multiple choice questions, and so we have to get used to taking a particular type of multiple choice question. We will be doing presentations. We will be writing papers. We will be up and leading discussions in the classroom. And all of that is a lot easier to be performed and accomplished when you're in a face-to-face environment rather than a static Zoom call. So there are some ways and some things that we can do to do student engagement online, but it just doesn't feel the same as being face-to-face in a classroom and having your peers right there reading their body language and getting that, that feedback and that support from the people in your class. So hopefully pretty soon again, we'll be back face-to-face and we can pick up those important parts of the course, because student speaking is a lot more important to me than me speaking. I have 3 hyperlinks down there in the bottom right-hand corner for you. The first one is to our course website. And our course website is applicable both to AP World and Honors class. The course website is where I upload things like video support, reading support, lots of different other sorts of things that will help students, maps and map practice, just a myriad of things. And students can get there with a single click. And they know how to do that, and now you know how to do that. So please do bookmark that site, and you are welcome to make comments, questions, or leave me concerns, either via email or through text message. The due dates calendar, I've already provided that hyperlink, and there that is for you again, so that you can get directly to the calendar and see exactly what your student will be doing. I believe I have the calendar completed already until somewhere in October, so you can kind of see what we're going to be doing over the next couple of months right now. And then the last thing on the bottom right, the complete course syllabus for AP World History. If your student has not shared that link with you yet, I did share it a couple of different ways already throughout the summer and early back to school season. But there it is in all of its beauty. It's about 5 or 6 pages long. There are several things on there that might be a concern. like our plagiarism and academic integrity policy, just things along that line, details about the AP World Test, and other information along that line. There is also on both syllabi a Remind code, and parents are more than welcome to join our Remind so that you are just as informed as your class student, and you're also able to join Schoology as a viewer on your child's account. So if you have a question about how to do that, I'd be more than happy to walk you through that some evening at your leisure. In addition to AP World information, I also have here my Honors World History information. Because we are following the Georgia Standards of Excellence more so all year long, and we're not doing the ones from the College Board, we have the 10 units that are on the left-hand side of the screen. And those 10 units will be covered in chronological order. So right now we are at the end of Unit 1, Ancient Civilizations, and about to begin number 2, Classic Mediterranean Societies and Empires. And that, of course, is the Roman Empire and that time period right there around 0 on the timeline. So we will be following those units of study all the way until May, and that is how we're going to organize and compose the course. The grading categories are a little bit less rigorous than AP World History, but not much. They don't need to be much less rigorous because Honors World kids are able to be challenged and able to rise to that expectation. So a little bit less emphasis on the test part, the essay part, the project part, giving kids more time to grow and bloom this year as a learner before that becomes a little bit more accountable in their 11th grade year. We have more emphasis on home practice and debriefing that home practice, investigation on the student's part. It is my goal that by the end of your child's Honors World and AP World History classes, that your child will be an excellent online researcher. They need that skill going forward. There are so many jobs in the future that will require computer literacy that we can't start early enough. It's not enough just to know how to Google something, how to Instagram someone, or to send a text message, which is these are the skills that kids are typically bringing to class that they're really solid with. We also need to be able to find academic information from the vast myriad of resources that are available on the World Wide Web. So that's part of my personal mission this year, even though it's not really a stated standard of our course, is that your student will get out of 10th grade with much more solid technology skills than with which they entered. They will be a researcher. They will be a person who can find information on the web, and that will serve them well going forward in every class that they have after this class. So thank you for joining me today. I hope that you learned something about the structure of our course, my expectations, and what we're going to be doing this year. Please do emphasize with your child, especially if you're not able to supervise their every day of learning. Perhaps you work, you're not in the home, and you're trusting your child to do whatever while you're not there. Please do reiterate that we are taking attendance every day, reporting that in Aspen. Additionally, zeros do count this year, and additionally, late grades are taken this year. Up until a certain point, a grade will be taken, and then after that point, the grade will not be taken. And that is a huge change for a lot of students compared to what was expected of them in 9th grade and the way that the school year ended. So I've emphasized that, and if you would do that from your home position, that would be really great. So as we wrap up our virtual chat, I would appreciate some feedback from you and some information from you. And I know you've been to restaurants recently where they ask you to take your cell phone and scan a QR code. And here's one more. I'd like you to scan the QR code that you see on the left-hand side of the screen. And what that will do is it will take you to a Google form. And I would like to gather some information about your contact information. Sometimes students and parents have different last names, and that information is in Aspen, but I'm asking you on that Google form to provide your name so that I know to call you respectfully by your name rather than your child's name when I make a call. I would also like to have access to your phone number so that I can call you directly on your cell number. Sometimes the information in Aspen has not been updated, sometimes for several years, and maybe you have a new phone compared to what's in Aspen. If you'll just take a moment and give me your data on that form, that would be excellent, and then I'll have information I need to contact you as well as information you have to contact me. Additionally, I would like to have your child's cell phone number. And the reason for that, I should probably clarify. We comment and talk with each other very often on Remind. I'd say already this year we've had maybe 500 Remind conversations, and the month is not even over of August. When I can't reach a student on Remind, it's usually because they did not bother to sign up for Remind. And when that happens, I can't get them and I can't send them a message that says, hey, I need such and such turned in, or where you been? I haven't seen you in class for the last couple of days. If a student is not in Remind, I would love to have the ability just to send them kind of a shock, right? Text message directly to their phone. My teacher knows how to get in touch with me. Hey, where have you been? I didn't get your so-and-so. I need this from you, right? Or the alternative is every time I need to get in touch with your child directly, then I would have to go through you. So if you choose not to supply your child's cell phone number, then I guess you're volunteering to be the intermediary between me and them whenever there is an issue that has arisen and I need to get something directly from them. So one or two of those things needs to happen. Either you're willing to be that voice with your child for me, or you're willing to allow me to contact your child directly on their cell phone. I promise I will use my power for good. Thanks for sharing this time with me and for listening to my virtual welcome and open house. And if you have questions after you've read the syllabus that goes with your child's course, I'd be more than happy to answer any questions you have for that. And you do have my contact number. Again, I'm Cindy Bishop, and I look forward to working with your child this year in either AP World History or Honors World History. Thanks for visiting.